Hello and welcome to Dave's 3D Journey. If you're new here, my name's Dave and I'm on a journey into the world of 3D printing. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I'm still learning. I've got my Anycubic printers and I've got plenty of enthusiasm, but I'm definitely not going to pretend I've got everything figured out. And that's exactly what this channel is all about. We're going to learn together. Today, we're going to look at something I think every beginner needs to know about. 3D printing tools. Because when you first get into 3D printing, you might think all you need is a printer, some filament, and a computer. Then you print something and suddenly you realize you need about 17 different things just to get the print off the bed. So today I'm going to show you 10 tools that I think are definitely useful for beginners. And rather than just sit here telling you what they do, I'm actually going to use them. We'll see what they're good at and what they're not so good at, and whether I think they're worth having at the end of each section. We'll give them a score in our very own Dave's Print Challenge. Let's get started. Tool number 1, flush cutters. These are probably one of the first tools that you're going to want when you start 3D printing. And they're not expensive. They're mainly used for cutting away things like supports, rims, rafts, and excess filament. Now, I've got this print here. This is where the cutters become really useful. You can see these support structures underneath the model. Now, you might be tempted just to grab hold of them and start attacking them. Don't. I learnt that one the hard way. The trick is to get the flat side of the cutter as close to the support as possible without cutting into the actual model. And take your time. Small cuts are much safer than trying to remove a huge section in one go. And there we go, much cleaner. For a beginner, I definitely recommend having a decent pair of flush cutters nearby. Usefulness, 5 out of 5. Value for money, 5 out of 5. Ease of use, 5 out of 5. Overall, I'd give it a 5 out of 5. Definitely one I'd buy. Tool number 2, the Deburring Tool, is something that looks incredibly simple, but is surprisingly useful. The humble Deburring Tool. This little blade is designed to remove tough edges and small imperfections from your prints. And here's where I really think it earns its place. Take a look at this edge. You can see there's a little bit of material sticking out there. Now I could try to cut it with my flush cutters, but the Deburring Tool gives me a smooth, cleaner way of removing it. Just gently run along the edge, don't force it, let the tool do the work. And look at that. That's a tiny change, but it makes the finished print look so much cleaner. Dave's Print Challenge. Usefulness, 4 out of 5. Value, 5 out of 5. Ease of use, also 5 out of 5. So overall, that's a 4.5 out of 5. Not the most exciting tool in the world, but one I think you'll use more often than you expect. Tool number 3, a precision knife. Now, before we go any further, this is sharp, very sharp. So if you're using one of these, take your time and keep your fingers out of the blade's path. This is useful for cleaning up small imperfections, removing thin pieces of filament, and tidying difficult areas. For example, we've got this little piece of material here. Rather than hacking away at it, I'm going to carefully trim it. Nice and slowly, and there we go. A much cleaner edge. But remember, this isn't a competition. You don't get extra points for cutting your fingers. Usefulness, 4 out of 5. Value, 4 out of 5. Ease of use, 3 out of 5. Overall, I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Now, we're moving on to something slightly more technical. Digital calipers. And this is where 3D printing starts getting really interesting. Because if you've ever tried printing something that needs to fit another object, you quickly discover that guessing measurements isn't always a great strategy. These allow you to measure things incredibly accurately. Outside measurements, inside measurements, and depth. That means if I'm designing something to fit this part, I don't have to guess. I've got an actual measurement to work from, and that can save you a lot of failed prints. And failed prints mean wasted filament. Means digital calipers aren't the easiest tool to use, as it will reflect in my score, but I'll try and show you how I use them. So I'll close them, zero them, say I want to measure this blue box, the length. I would open the prongs up, place the object in between, close them two, and that would give me an accurate measurement of 49.9 millimeters. Let's say, for instance, I want to measure the inside measurement of this. On the opposite side, we have these. So again, I would zero it, open it up, place the two prongs in between, see, fiddly. And that would give me a measurement of 68. Dave's Print Challenge. Usefulness, 5 out of 5. Value, 5 out of 5. Ease of use, 4 out of 5. Overall, I'll give it a 5 out of 5. Tool number 5 is something you might already have hiding in your toolbox. A hex key set. 3D printers contain plenty of screws and fasteners that use hex heads. They're useful for assembling your printer, making adjustments, and carrying out maintenance. If you've got an issue with something being loose, you'll probably be reaching for these. The important thing here is not to go mad tightening everything. Nice and snug, you don't need to turn your printer into Fort Knox. Dave's Print Challenge. Usefulness, 5 out of 5. Value, 5 out of 5. Ease of use, 5 out of 5. Overall, I'm going to give it 5 out of 5. Number 6, screwdriver set. Again, this isn't particularly exciting, but it's one of those things you'll suddenly need, usually when you can't find one. Ask me how I know. A small precision screwdriver set is particularly useful around your printer. It's also worth having different sizes available rather than trying to use the wrong screwdriver, because stripping a screw can turn a 2-minute job
1 eternity later
into a very annoying afternoon, and nobody wants that. Dave's Print Challenge. Usefulness, 5 out of 5. Value, 5 out of 5. Ease of use, 5 out of 5. And overall, I give it a 5 out of 5. Number 7, pliers. These are useful for jobs where your fingers simply aren't enough. They can help remove stubborn supports, hold small parts, and generally give you a better grip. But again, be careful around delicate prints. Too much force, and you've just created a new piece of modern art. Usefulness, 4 out of 5. Value, 5 out of 5. Ease of use, 5 out of 5. Overall, I'll give that a 4.5 out of 5. Tool number 8, print bed cleaning. Now we're getting to something that can make a huge difference to your prints. Keeping your print surface clean. Fingerprints, dust, and oil can all affect adhesion, so keeping your build plate clean is important. Give it a proper clean using a suitable cleaning method for your particular build plate. and importantly, let it dry properly before printing. It's a very simple thing, but it can prevent a lot of frustration. Now this category splits into 4 subcategories. First, you're going to need a bed scraper. There is a metal type of bed scraper and a 3D printed type of bed scraper. With the metal one, be extremely careful when working around your bed plate. You do not want to damage or scratch the bed plate, because that will result in poor adhesion along the line. Second on that list will be isopropyl alcohol. This is extremely flammable and it needs to be used in a well ventilated area. When you apply this, you'll wash it off or rub it off with a microfiber cloth, or again, there is a dedicated 3D version that utilizes swatches of microfiber cloth. Then what I would say, 3 to 4 prints on one bed. You want to then use any type of nondescript dish soap. The plain variety, I would say, would be the best, alongside hot water, as hot as you can stand it. Make sure the bed has been rinsed completely of dish soap and is completely dry before you put it back on to your 3D printer. Usefulness, 5 out of 5. Value, 5 out of 5. Ease of use, 5 out of 5. Overall, I give it a 5 out of 5. Tool number 9, safety equipment. It isn't really a tool after all, it's safety equipment. And this one matters. Depending on what you're doing, you may need such things as suitable gloves, eye protection, or other protective equipment. And if you're working with resin, the safety requirements become even more important. Don't treat safety as an optional extra. The best print in the world isn't worth hurting yourself over. Take your time, know what material you're working with, read the manufacturer's guidance, and keep your workspace sensible and tidy. Dave's Print Challenge. Importance, 5 out of 5. Value, priceless. Tool number 10, storage and organisation. Something I think has become more important the longer you spend in 3D printing, organisation. Because when you start, you might have 5 tools, then 10, then 20, then suddenly you've got a drawer full of things and absolutely no idea where the thing you need has gone. Label your tools, keep your commonly used tools together, and keep your workspace tidy, because searching for a tiny Allen key underneath a pile of filament is not my idea of fun. Dave's Print Challenge. Usefulness, 5 out of 5. Value, 5 out of 5. Overall, I give it a 5 out of 5. So, there we have it. 10 tools that I think are worth considering when you're starting your 3D printing journey. Let's have a quick look at our winners. Flush cutters, 5 out of 5. Deburring tool, 4.5. Precision knife, 4. Digital calipers, 5. Hex keys, 5. Screwdriver set, 5. Pliers, 4.5. Bed cleaning equipment, 5. Safety equipment, 5. And organisation, 5. Do you really need everything now? Here's something I want to make really clear. If you're just starting out, you don't need to go out and buy all 10 things tomorrow. Start with the basics. Use what you've already got where is appropriate, and build your toolkit as you learn. Because one of the things I don't want this channel to become is, here's £500 worth of stuff you need before you can print anything. That's not realistic for anyone. And I'm learning this journey myself. So we're going to find out what actually matters and what can wait. And here's where I'd like to introduce something. We're going to be doing quite often here on Dave's 3D Journey, the Dave's Print Challenge. Whenever we're testing a printer, filament, tool or technique, we're going to put it through its paces. We'll look at print quality, ease of use, value for money, reliability, and most importantly, would I actually use it again? Because a product can look fantastic on paper, but what really matters is what happens when you put it to work. So that's it for today's video. If you're just starting your own 3D printing journey, I hope this has helped you understand some of the basic tools you'll come across. And remember, you don't have to know everything on day one. I'm learning too, and that's the whole point of Dave's 3D journey. We're going to try things, we're going to test things, we'll probably make a few mistakes along the way. And hopefully, we'll learn from them. And if you've enjoyed the video, please consider hitting that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe and come along for the journey. And let me know in the comments, what's the one 3D printing tool you couldn't live without? Because there might be something I've completely missed. And if there is, I'll probably end up buying one. Thanks for watching. I'm Dave, and this is Dave's 3D journey. I'll see you in the next one. Or a dedicated 3D printer version. Digital calipers are extremely fiddle.